This video will drastically improve your physique because for the past few years, I have been absolutely studying everything about fitness and nutrition and went through all the trials and failures to teach you exactly what you need to do. And quickly, I'll show you my credentials. Here's what I used to look like not that long ago. And then here's what I look like now. As you can see, there's a drastic difference, and it's all because of these few things I'm gonna teach you. So first off, going into the basics, what even is a calorie? Calorie is just a measurement of energy. So simply, all that means is if your goal is to burn fat, you need to make sure that you are expending more calories than you're consuming. And if you want to gain weight or muscle, then you have to make sure you're exceeding the amount of calories you need daily. So this is a simple equation to figure out how many calories that you should eat roughly to maintain your body weight. All you do is you take your body weight, times it by 15, and that is your maintenance calories. And then from there, you have to decide if your goal is to lose weight or if your goal is to gain weight. So the majority of you, just like me, your goal is probably to lose weight. So when you do this equation, all you need to do is take that number that you get, so say it's 2,500, and just subtract 250 from it. And that is the amount of calories that you should be eating every single day. And this is really controversial for whatever reason, but if you eat less than you burn, you're gonna lose weight. So it's literally calories in versus calories out. Now that doesn't mean every calorie is equal. So yes, you can eat 2,250 calories of donuts and still lose weight, but you're simply losing weight. So that's where macros come into play. You need 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. That's what's gonna help you build muscle while losing fat. So now that you understand more of the basics, you need to make sure when you're tracking calories, you're not guessing. You need to weigh out all your foods in grams. And this is if you're really trying to take it serious. You must do this. And if you don't want to do it long term, at least do it for a month so that way you have a better idea of food, because most humans overtrack their food like crazy. And once you start locking in your nutrition and you're tracking your calories and your protein, the next thing you need to start focusing on is progressive overload. If you don't know what this is, it's just gradually increasing reps or weight. So that's another thing you need to start tracking your workouts, how much weight you're putting up, and don't keep changing different plans. Just pick one plan that you can stick to and that you enjoy. So one of the most basic plans that you could do, or that most people start off with, is push, pull, legs. So if you do that, just stick to it for a very long time and focus on what weight you started with. And your main goal should be increasing that weight or increasing the reps. And at first, all of this is gonna feel like a major chore, but I promise you, after you do it for so long, it gets so much easier and it just becomes part of the routine. Like I track all my workouts, I track all my nutrition, and you should. If you wanna take your physique to the next level, then you must do this. And this next thing is something that no one ever talks about, and I don't know why, because this is like something that is major for me. So if you're 5'10" and under, you should be getting your calorie deficit from moving. And what I mean is if your calorie deficit calories, let's go back to the previous example. So say your maintenance is 2,500 calories and you need to be at a deficit at 2,250 calories. You should be creating that deficit through movement as much as you can. Now this isn't necessary, either way works, but I feel like whenever you're 5'10" or under, like me, I get a ton of steps and create my deficit through energy. It makes the life a lot more enjoyable, and you can still eat a lot of the foods that you already were. Now, if you're 5'11" and above, your maintenance calories is already gonna be a lot higher than most of us shorter people. So you're fine to just keep your deficit through strictly just restricting more food, because it's not gonna be that much of a restriction. But either way still works for both regards, but I just feel like that's something that's pretty major for me. And it makes it a lot more sustainable, because all of this is supposed to improve your life, not make it worse. So you need to just find the plan that works for you, that you can stick to and you're still happy with. Because if you just hate what you're doing every day, you're not gonna stick to it. That's why a lot of these keto, carnivore, crazy diets like that, fruit only, they don't last and they're not sustainable fat loss. These ground rules, I guess you could call them, are sustainable. And that doesn't mean it should be easy, because this is not an easy process at all. It's gonna be very hard, especially at first. When you start changing your lifestyle, it's gonna feel uncomfortable and hard, and that is normal, and it should. That means you're growing. And if you don't wanna just walk all day and you don't like moving your body too much and you're in the shorter group of people, you need to start focusing on your unrealized energy expenditure. So when you go to the store, just park as far away as you can. I do that every single time I go to the store, and it will rack up your steps, because ideally you want to be hitting at least 10,000 steps. And I think you should also be including incline on the treadmill as well. Those aren't necessary. There's also a difference of quality of exercise as well. So just like there's a quality and quantity of calories. So you can still eat 1,800 calories worth of donuts and lose weight, but those are not quality calories. Same goes with cardio. So walking on flat ground, walking 10,000 steps, you still walk 10,000 steps, but the 10,000 steps that you walk on the incline, the quality of those steps are a lot higher and are going to expend more energy, although you still walk the same amount of distance. And I would say really the last tip of this is I would get a smart scale. It's not necessary by any means. You could write down your weight, but you want to make sure you're writing down your weight, because that equation where you do your body weight times 15, that gives you a rough estimate. The real way to know if you're in a deficit or if you're gaining weight is just by taking the average each week of your weight, because your weight's going to fluctuate crazy every single day, and that's completely normal. So if you're in your deficit and the first day it starts spiking up or something, don't worry, it's completely normal. That's why you want to take your week's average and just keep comparing it. So yeah, transform your physique. Let me know down below if I missed anything, if you have any more questions and what you want to see next. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. Peace out.